Good afternoon, YouTube. AJ here. Today I'm doing a video on driveway repair, driveway care, and redo. See my driveway there behind me. The video is not doing it much justice because I can't get good lighting on it, but it's actually going up at a pretty decent angle. It's pretty smooth. And the reason I'm doing the video on it is because in 2016, we had a heck of a lot of rain. I'm talking 7 inches in one day, and we had just tons and tons of rain throughout the entire month. We had light rains, heavy rains. It just went on and on. It felt like it was never going to end. Every day there was rain, and it damaged my driveway a lot. So anybody that knows me knows I love doing things twice. Whether I actually like doing them twice or not is up to debate, because it just seems to be the going trend for me that I do things twice before it's right. Same with this driveway. So like I said, 2016, all that rain, it tore up my driveway horribly bad. I'm talking ruts that were foot thick or maybe even deeper. I mean, little cars couldn't drive up there. It was slimy, slippery, horrible ruts, just all up and down the driveway. It looked more like a mud pit than a driveway. So we had to do something about it. And it washed off so much stuff that there was probably a good foot of the driveway that was completely gone, on top of the ruts and everything. So we ended up finding tin cans, nails, glass, all kinds of random stuff in there, which told me that the driveway actually was a burn pit in a past life. So we had to repair it as soon as possible, but we had to wait for, the weather to clear up for us to be able to do it. But as the weather cleared up, we got into the repair. Round number one, filled in the holes with bricks, rocks, fairly large rocks, things of them sorts, to just get the holes filled up in a quick order, so I didn't have to use a lot of the rock that we had ordered to actually do the driveway. So what we ordered was 15 yards of railroad millings, and we did that because it was the cheapest, most efficient thing to use. And we'd used railroad millings before, and it was on another driveway, and it worked great. It compacted great, it lasted a long time, it was very cost effective, all the things you really want out of a driveway. So that's what we went with, and we ended up putting all this on there and got it packed pretty well, and it seemed like we were in good shape. However, we were expecting more rain, and we got it. The cons with railroad millings, for one, it's messy and tacky. So as it gets rain on it, it sticks to your tires, sticks to, flings up on your vehicles a lot easier, sticks to the vehicles. There's rock in there, but there's also quite a bit of dirt. I mean, so it just was really messy and didn't work out quite like we expected on this particular drive. It was really soft also. So where the ruts and stuff were, it was very loose and mushy, kind of squishy almost, and it rolled. It kind of rolled like the hills, and as you drove over it, it rolled and squished so much that the bricks started coming out from underneath there. So after another week of heavy rain, we had a driveway that needed repaired again, and the road got yet another donation from me. Not only did they get my tax money, but they got half of my driveway out in the road. So we went at it again as soon as rain quit. Round two. I scraped the driveway off with the tractor. My wife and I hand dug out all the ruts, all the soft spots, kind of just dug them out the best we could, and got them back to where it was at least seemingly getting a little bit harder underneath, and then went back to laying bricks. And we laid the bricks the opposite direction. Instead of going with the driveway, we laid them across the driveway. And this time, we put a little bit of mortar in there and laid the bricks on top of the mortar again, and used the mortar just to kind of sprinkle along the driveway as a whole before we put the rock on it. Boom, sorry, hit the horn with my hand. But anyways, after we got that done, we got the bricks on there. Everything was good at that point, ready to start putting rock on. We spread the first layer of AB3 across the driveway. And for those of you that don't know what AB3 is, as far as I know from what the rock company told me, AB3 is basically 1 inch to 3 inch rocks. That's limestone. So we ordered that, got that, spread it all out, packed it in, and then everything I'd scraped off, we spread back across there. So all these railroad screenings, millings, screenings, whichever way you want to call them, same thing. We took that and we spread that back over the AB3, and then we packed it, and then we ordered another 15 yards of AB3, and we put that over the railroad millings, and we packed that in. And by packing it in, I used sorry guys, I used my F250 V10 3/4 ton truck with a couple thousand pounds in the back of it, and I drove it back and forth on it, trying to overlap my tires, my tire barks and everything, and it actually worked pretty well. I think the thing that caused it, or not caused it, I think the thing that made it work the best was the extremely bald tires that I had on there. So they're wide and they're bald, so it didn't grip nothing, and it seemed like it pushed it down into there and compacted it really well. And we kept going along that many times with it like that. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention was, in between each layer that we put down, I'd take the garden hose and sprinkler and just wet down each layer and then compact it. And I truly believe that even with the saturated ground, putting that water on there helped that compact into each other really well. So we were quite excited by the end of it, because it looked good, it was nice and smooth, and it seemed like it was gonna be all right. And the best result yet, it was great. We finally got it all compacted in. It was, like I said, fairly smooth. We haven't had any washouts. The compaction was great, because as that limestone breaks down, it kind of powders up and turns itself almost into a mortar. So when it gets into the railroad millings, then it really bonds to each other. And plus the railroad millings being real sharp, shaped funny, they lock in to the limestone really well. So you get this great lock in and bond both going on at the same time, and it just made for a great driveway. It's easier on your feet because the limestone breaks down to almost a powder, but then as it gets wet, it kind of solidifies again, and it's extremely low on maintenance, very minimal on maintenance. Basically the only thing you got to worry about is, like you guys seen, is the grass growing up in the middle. So all of that stuff is great. You know, keep in mind, it's 2020 now. Crooked film. Sorry, I had the phone tilted. It's 2020 now, so it's been a few years of this driveway sitting here, and it still looks really good. Works really well. The only thing that I would do different, honestly, just depending on what look you want, is to add some of the that white rock you get. I think that'd give a nice look to the driveway, and I also think it would pack and bond really well in with the AB3, and I think you guys would have an extremely good tight driveway that would last many years. But that's about all I have for today. If anybody has any suggestions on any different ways to, you know, repair old driveways when they get that bad, please put them in the comments. Or if you have any ideas on how to make this driveway any better in general, just let me know down in the comments. And as always, you know, please like, share, subscribe. You guys know you want to do it, so just go ahead and hit the little button. All right, thank you. Have a good night.